Good Sunday morning. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. We're taking a live look outside this morning. We are seeing gorgeous blue sky out this way. Don't be fooled, though, with the sun up. It's chilly out there now, and it's going to remain a lot cooler than it was yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Erica Lopez. Meteorologist Chris Spears is with us to break down the Sunday forecast because the cool temperatures are really moving in, and it's just the start of what we're going to be dealing with all week.
Yes, a busy weather week coming up for us. Two different storms we are tracking. Each one will have an impact on the state. And then once these two storms go by, we've got a little bit of cold air that's going to filter in and hang out for a few days. We are in the 30s and 40s across the state. If you're in the high country, this is mild compared to where you were this time yesterday. You had cloud cover overnight, keeping in some of the daytime heating. Eastern plains were a little cooler than we were this time yesterday, unless you're right along the foothills where we have some wind this morning, keeping temperatures up. From Casper back through Rock Springs, Salt Lake City, that's the leading edge of this first weather system coming in. We already have a little batch of snow developing here on the northwestern corner of the state, and as we go through the day, each passing hour, the snow will become more widespread as that pushes into the northern and central mountains, maybe even eventually a band or two coming through the Front Range overnight tonight. We do have a winter weather advisory for parts of our western mountains, 5 to 10 inches of snow, especially at pass level. So keep that in mind, such as Rabbit Ears Pass. 30s and 40s for the high country today. Not a lot of movement in the temperature. 50s and low 60s, eastern plains and western slope. Erica, first storm is passing by as we speak. It'll move through tonight and get out of here tomorrow, but right behind it, storm number 2 with holiday travel impacts. Those details straight ahead.
We'll be all tracking that very closely, Chris. Thank you. New this morning, Denver police are searching for a suspect after a shooting on East 25th Avenue and North Washington Street. They say one victim was taken to the hospital. We don't know the extent of their injuries at this time. We do know that Denver police tweeted about this first around 4:40 this morning. We have reached out to police for more information, and we will update you on air and online as we learn more. Also new this morning, a 24-year-old man has been arrested in connection with a deadly shooting that happened Saturday afternoon in Denver. It happened on Federal Boulevard and 16th Avenue, right near Empower Field. 24-year-old Jose Cantu Jr. is being held for first-degree murder. Denver police say it all started from an argument that got out of hand. The victim has not yet been identified. That investigation is still ongoing. We're learning more this morning about the 3 people who were inside a Civil Air Patrol plane when it crashed in northern Colorado Saturday morning. 2 people were killed and another was hurt. It happened in Larimer County near Storm Mountain. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez has new details on the investigation.
That crash happened during a search and rescue training exercise. One of the pilots and a photographer was killed, while the other pilot was airlifted to the hospital with serious injuries. Pieces of this small Cessna plane scattered throughout the trees as first responders searched on the ground for the wreckage.
So we have crews that train for this kind of thing.
The Larimer County Sheriff's Office responded, along with members of the National Guard. They found Randall Settergren, one of the pilots, with serious injuries. The other pilot, Susan Wolber, was killed, along with aerial photographer Jay Roten. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office says the crash site is difficult to access, even dangerous.
Recovery will likely last the next few days just because of where the location is. It really is in steep and just really difficult terrain to get people out there and get those groups out there to assist with that.
The next step is an investigation into what caused the plane to crash.
We will be working with the FAA and the NTSB in order to kind of look into those details and figure out what happened and what that looks like.
Now, the Civil Air Patrol is a civilian unit that's part of the U.S. Air Force. So what that means is all of the people that were on the plane today were volunteers. A very sad situation, but we will update you with all the latest details. In Larimer County, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Making national headlines this morning, President-elect Donald Trump named his pick to head the Department of Agriculture. Trump is nominating Brooke Rollins for Agriculture Secretary. She serves as the America First Policy Institute president, which is a right-leaning think tank whose personnel have worked closely with Trump's campaign. Rollins also chaired the Domestic Policy Council during Trump's first term. If confirmed by the Senate, Rollins would lead a 100,000-person agency with offices in every county in the country. The agency had a budget of $437.2 billion in 2024. Trump has now chosen all of the people who would be in the presidential line of succession. And if his previous term is any indication, confirmation hearings could start before Inauguration Day. Investigators are tracking another deadly food outbreak. This time, it's listeria in connection with Yusheng ready-to-eat meat and poultry products. Twin infants died in California, though the CDC can only connect one death to the outbreak. 9 others were hospitalized, but the CDC says the number of cases is likely higher. The USDA has recalled 72,000 pounds of Yusheng food products that have impacted 4 states: California, Illinois, New York, and New Jersey. This latest outbreak follows other high-profile cases. 10 people died this summer from a listeria outbreak linked to tainted boar's head deli meat. In October, more than 100 E. coli cases were reported in connection to slivered onions on McDonald's Quarter Pounders. And just this month, more than a dozen states reported E. coli cases after one person died from eating organic carrots produced by Grimway Farms. So should we be concerned about our food safety quality in this country?
We should be concerned. We should always be vigilant, but certainly don't panic. Sanitation is very key to controlling listeria. And so when you have these series of outbreaks, it really raises a lot of questions about how these facilities are maintaining their sanitation.
If you have any of those recalled products at home, experts advise that you throw them away immediately, then clean out your refrigerator, containers, and surfaces that may have touched those recalled items, because these types of bacteria can spread to other foods.